6.3, dividing polynomials. There are two ways to divide polynomials that we're going to talk about. One is using long division. So you have to go back to long division from elementary school, middle school, whenever you did that. But it's going to be very much similar. So here's our first step. Write in standard form, including any zeros for any missing part. The first number, or the first set of parentheses, goes the inside. Remember, inside the houses, as some people call it, or inside the division bar. And the second parentheses goes on the outside. So let's actually write that. Is this in standard form? Remember, standard form has the highest exponent first. This is our highest exponent, so we need that to go first. So leave some room up here because we're going to write our answer on top. So 3x cubed. So we've used this one. The second set, or the second thing goes, was our x squared. Okay, so plus 4x squared. I don't have a regular x, so I have to put plus 0x. I have to remember this one. And then we finally got plus 10. Okay, so that all goes on the inside here. And then we're going to write the second parentheses on the outside, so x minus 2. So that's just step 1 here. Step 2 is to divide. So there's many ways, or many steps for the division part. A, take the first outside number. Okay, so that's the outside. First outside number is this one. First outside number, and see how many times it goes into the first inside, which is this. Okay. So the first outside we said was x. How many times does 1, so there's a 1 right here. How many times does 1 go into 3? That's 3 times. And how many times does x go into x cubed? That is x squared. So this one and this one have to add to this x one. So 2 plus there's a 1 have to add to 3. B, I put that on top. I already did that one. C, multiply the number from B, that number we just put on top, times both pieces on the outside. So I just put 3x squared on top. So we need to take this times this and this times this. 3 times 1 is 3. We're going to put it right here. X squared times x makes x cubed. These two must be the exact same thing, otherwise you did not do it right. 3 times negative 2 makes negative 6. And then that doesn't have an x, but that does, so x squared. That is B, we multiplied, and then we put what we just got underneath. Now we need to subtract. Once we do this, we're going to start repeating. And then you also need to know here in a minute that the remainder goes over the outside, and we'll talk about that when we get to it. So we're going to subtract. So all of this here that we just did, we're going to subtract that. So 3 minus 3. This should go away. If it does not, like I said, you did something wrong. So 4 minus negative 6, that is a positive 10. So 10x squared. Now to repeat, we have to bring this part down. So plus 0x. But we're going to go all the way back up to a. So how many times does this x go into 10x squared? So 10 divided by 1 is 10. We have 2 x's. I'm taking 1 out, so I'm left with 1. Okay. Step 3 says to multiply what we just got times this. 10 times 1 is 10. X times x makes x squared. 10 times negative 2 makes negative 20. X times no x makes x. Once again, I need to subtract this. So we have 10 minus 10. 10 minus 10 goes away. 0 minus negative 20. Double negative makes a positive. 0, so 0 plus 20 is 20x. And bring down that 10. do it again because we're not done. 1x goes into 20x 20 times, because 20 divided by 1 is 20. We have 1x, but it's out here, so we don't need to write an x. If you notice, we have x squared, x, and then no x, so that should be good. So 20 times 1, x is 20x. 20 times negative 2 is negative 40. Once again, we need to subtract. 20 minus 20, oops, I forgot my x. 20 minus 20 goes away. 10 minus negative 40 is positive 50. So remember, all the way down at the bottom, I said remainder has to go over the outside. So that 50, I'm going to put all the way up here, plus 50 needs to go in a fraction, and this entire thing, the x minus 2 goes right here. So this answer up here, that's our answer right there. Let's try another one. B. Okay, we have to make sure that this is in standard form, which it already is, so that's good, so I can just write it down. And this goes on the outside. How many times does x go into x squared? Just an x, so I need to take this x times that x. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is minus 3x. And I need to take this and subtract. So x squared minus x squared goes away. 5 minus negative 3. So it's 5 plus 3 is 8. We have to bring down our negative 28. So do it again. How many times does x go into 8x? Well, there's a 1, so 8 divided by 1 is 8. But they both have just an x, so no x is required up here. Multiply this times that here. 8 times x is 8x. 8 times negative 3 is negative 24. Remember to subtract them. 8x minus 8x goes away. Negative 28 minus negative 24 is a negative 4. So I need to write minus 4 over x minus 3. So this right here is our answer. Let's try one more together. This one's a little bit different because it's got a number up here, and that's fine. But we've got 15x squared, 8x, and negative 12. And that's got a number right there, so that's really where it's different, it's out there. So how many times does 3x go into 15x squared? 15 divided by 3 is 5. We have 2 x's, but I'm taking 1 out, so I'm only left with 1. So take this times both of these. 5 times 3 is 15. I see 2 x's, so x squared. X times 1 is x. And I need to subtract. 15 minus 15 goes away. 8 minus 1. 8 minus 1 is 7. Oh, I'm sorry. 5x times 1 is not 1. 5x times 1 is 5x. So 8 minus 5 should be 3. X. Bring down our negative 12. How many times does 3x go into 3x? 3 divided by 3 is 1, and they both have an x, so no x's are required up there. 1 times 3 is 3x. 1 times 1 is 1. Take this and subtract it. 3x minus 3x goes away. Negative 12 minus 1 is negative 13. Since there's nothing else to bring down, this is my remainder. Negative 13 over 3x plus 1. Try this problem on your own.